ba, 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 ba. Hello everybody, welcome back to Maximum Voice. I'm very happy to have you here. Today we do a rhythm special. What we would like to do today, we want to stack two different counts on top of each other. In this case, 2/3 and 3/2. Why this is important for singers, I think a lot of singers don't really do that stuff of rhythm type, but it's going to get interesting for you if you want to sing different styles with different rhythms, so you get more capable of understanding and feeling them and singing them really out of feeling instead of only like, oh, I have to do this and that and that and have to point on this moment. So 2/3, 3/2. What I'm doing is like we have 3 beats, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. And I want to put them on top of each other in a certain way. So we want to have it evenly. So it's not like I don't want to do 1 and. So I have 3 counts and I have 2 and 1 in the beginning and 1 in the end, but really evenly so I could continue it. What I have to do for it, I'm going to start, I have 3 quarters. I'm going to write that quickly on here. These are my 3 quarters. And now I want to have it in a very regular way. And I can start by adding a quarter on the 1 of my 2. And now I would have to figure out what do I have to do to make it even. I have 2/3, so I take the 3 and I divide it by 2 and I get to 1.5. In this case, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and. So 1.5 would be the 2 end where my next note comes up. And now we have something that could be sounding like this. I'm gonna clap it, and in the same time, I'm gonna sing the 2s. So we have 1, 2, 3. Ba, 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 ba. So you hear my 2s are very regular and they always ending up together on the 1 and just starting to loop. So now I'm doing it with voice and with clapping, but you could also do it just with the hands. I'm going to try it on my chest. I'm not that super good with hands, but I will try. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. So that would be just the rhythm if you want to play it on the body, just to understand how it's put together. And you can use that, as I say, in music when you have like a 3/4 rhythm, for example, or 6/8, where you are only meant to sing those 2 notes evenly. And making this, for example, let's make an interesting thing, like we have 6/8 and 4/4, which does not make much sense right now, but just to understand, you have 6 notes and you have 4 notes, you want to divide it over, and then you can sing as singer, da, 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 da. So I will always love you. For example, just making up something right now to show you how to apply that. The same thing works for the other way around. So you might have noticed that we used the 8th in this time to divide and to give the other note the right place. This time, since we have 2 in our bass, it's only 2. 1 and 2. Let's see, that's not beautiful, but you can see it. So we have 2 main notes in the beginning. And this time we don't want to divide in 8th, but in 16th. So who doesn't know how this is working? Before we had 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So now we need more of this, and we're gonna start to put an E in front and behind the end. So we have 1E and D 2E and D 3 and D 4E and D 1E and D 2E and D 1E and D 2E. So we have 4 counts there, and I'm gonna write that up. So we have 1E and D 2E and D. That's our counts now that we want to put those 3 notes above. And we are going to use 3 counts. 1, 2, 3 to add 1 note. 1, 2, 3 to add 1 note. And when we have the 1 itself, and then we get up to something like this. So since this is not the most beautiful, I connected it with some lines. I connected it with lines to see better. So we have 1, E, and the end. So what it would sound like would be 1, 2, 1 E and E, 2 E and E, ba 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 ba, or in shorter, ba 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 ba. So we have these 3 counts over 2. 1 E and E, 2 E and E, 1 E and E, 2 E and E, 1 E and E, 2 E and E, 1 E and E, 2 E and E. So you can see this is even, it is also going on just like 2 over 3. It's just a different pattern. It's a different feeling. And again, it is super important if we want to start singing more complex stuff, more rhythmically complex stuff where we want to have a bigger impact on. And as a singer, it's really good to know your stuff rhythmic wise, because rehearsals and collaborations with other musicians will go much, much smoother if I'm capable of reproducing that, and maybe also to be capable of telling the people around me what I want. For example, when I write something and I want my drummer to play a specific thing, I have to be able to describe that thing that I want to play him. And as more as I understand what I just did, the easier it is going to be to get exactly the result that you wanted to have in the shortest amount of time. Great. As always, if there's any other questions, please let me know, leave a comment, and I hope I see you on the channel more often and in the next video. I hope you had fun. Goodbye.